So I figured if there's any other platform that's just still young, it's still starting, I'm just going to do an experiment. I'm going to start on January and do a TikTok at least every day or every other day till the end of the year. And that's what I did.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip, this, wet, tell 'em run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 2 Feet In Show. I'm Mike, and with me, Kenny. What's going on, Kenny?
Man, what is going on? I'm stoked. I'm excited to have our EP2 that's about to drop, and I'm ready for the conversation, man. Always a good topic when me and you get together.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so today is Inauguration Day. I know this isn't on the topic, but we have to say it. It's Inauguration Day. I know there was a lot of hype going on that, you know, there might be something that might happen, but I'm glad nothing crazy is going on. Whatever the case, Biden is our president, so just got to keep moving forward with it, whether you like it or you don't like it. You know, you can't let other things affect you as a person, right? You can't rely on, let's say, the president or the government or things like that. You just got to take it for what it is, but focus on you, especially if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, and keep moving forward.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and as an American, you know, you want the next president to do an incredible job. So best wishes to Joe. But, you know, as an entrepreneur and as any person in America, you know, you don't want to rely on one person to come and save you. And that's what we're really here for, to give you guys access to news and information so you can build your own life, take care of your family, do the things that you want to do because you're the only person who's truly, truly in control of your life, you know. So that's the amazing part. Congrats to Joe. And we hope he does well, as all Americans should.
Yep. And also too, because there's just been talks on the stimulus checks.
Where's that $2,000, man? That's what we really want to know.
And
you know, that check, you know,
that's a prime example of, you can't. I mean, that should just be icing on the cake, you know. You can't just rely on those checks to. I mean, it's good and helpful to pay the bills, but $600.
Yeah, exactly. You know? I mean, what can we do with $600? I mean, let's just be honest. We're in America. I mean, you and me are in California, which is, you know, how high prices are here.
Taxes.
You know, taxes. You know, but 600 or even 2,000, it's not enough. You know, so you building the tools as an entrepreneur so you can build wealth, take care of your family, your kids, give back to your community. That's what it's all about, and that's what we're doing. You know, so it's a honorable thing.
Yep. 100%. Okay, let's get to the first topic. First topic on deck is Crocs and the collaboration effect.
Yes.
I know you went in on that. So what do you find out?
Okay, so Crocs guys had a massive 2020. So they were basically the only company, I believe, last year who grew over 55% during the pandemic. No other shoe company or any other company like that grew as fast as Crocs. And I think it's such an amazing topic to talk about because prior to the explosion of Crocs, when you originally looked at Crocs, everybody thought they were ugly. They were kind of like shoes for older people and different things like that. But they made a massive, massive change, and the real effect of working with different influencers like Post Malone and different things like that, where they absolutely exploded into pop culture. And now they're just like a regular type shoe that people are rocking, man.
Yeah, let me share my screen here.
Okay.
Just so people that are watching, you can kind of see. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Cool. Yeah, like you said, let's start from the top here. Crocs collaborations. This is on the Crocs website.
Yep.
Post Malone.
Yes.
Crocs.
How sick are those?
They got a chain here on the side, and it looks like, for those that are listening and you can't see it, you know, Crocs have like those holes on the front,
on the top.
On the top. Mm-hmm. And I guess what they created are like designs and things that you can like plug into those holes. So like Post Malone has uh, like chains in here.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Okay, Crocs. Justin Bieber withdrew, which is Justin
Yep.
Bieber's
How dope are those, dude?
clothing line.
Those are sick.
This is really interesting. Like
And
Crocs has moved into like you said, like the mainstream pop
yes,
culture
yes.
type of deal.
Chinatown. Oh my gosh, I love it.
This kind
It's
of reminds me of like, remember we were in like high school and
yeah.
um some people would like they have vans
Mm-hmm.
and they would like color on the
Oh
vans and
yes,
do
they
the
were
signs.
yes, 100%.
And this kind of reminds me of that. You know,
Yes.
like I wonder why Vans didn't do that. They should,
I know. I know.
they
Yeah.
were like so much part of like pop culture. Like they could have collaborated with all these different influencers and had designs
Yeah.
on the Vans, and that would
Mm-hmm.
have been like,
Yeah. It
oh, that
would
was sold out.
it would have been killer, you know. And I was reading an article where it was talking about Andrew Reese, and he talked about one of his strategies for them to have a 55% growth in quarter 4 of last year, over $407 million. He attributed it to improving manufacturing, closing underperforming stores, and making Crocs cool again. And they ended up becoming one of the world's largest and fastest growing athletic brand. And these
Wow.
collaborations are huge. And I think that, you know, if you're a business owner, especially if you're in the product space, having massive collaborations with different influencers that mirror exactly who your target market is can absolutely double, triple your business and bring in that cool factor, which is absolutely amazing.
That's crazy. Um, yeah, that was a good play by Crocs, and that's crazy how like a shoe brand like that just doubled. Like you said, they doubled in revenue.
Yeah, yeah. So they were up by let's see, they were up by 55% to $407 million. That's nuts in quarter 4. Yeah, double.
Wow,
Crazy.
that's the power of like collaboration.
The power of influencers and collaborating, and not even that. Nike just collaborated with Drake on his feature line called Nocta. So he's the first, because you know people like, you know, LeBron James. We've had Kanye West in
So
the past.
this is separate from OVO.
Yeah, this is separate from OVO. So it's almost like a musician got a deal just like a
Athlete.
an athlete, and he was the first one to do it. And he always talks about it in his songs. And they just launched, and they're absolutely crushing it too.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That makes sense because so you said it's NAF. What is it called?
It's called Nocta,
Nocta.
Nocta, Nocta. That's the brand.
Nocta. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
And so they made a deal with him
Yep.
on a shoe collab.
Yeah, so it's not just a shoe collaboration, it's a full clothing line collaboration. So
Really?
they have a full clothing line. Drake has a full clothing line with Nike officially. Nike's hosting a website, doing all the production, everything. Drake is in collaboration with all the design, the aesthetics of his team.
Hmm.
And just, you know, Drake's just like cool branding, the whole
Yeah.
deal.
He's all about the branding.
The branding is incredible, and they really gave him creative reins, just like they would for like a LeBron. They gave Drake basically his own clothing line through the Nike brand, which is it's like a Jordan almost. You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like Jordan, but as an artist, like a music artist. That's crazy. Yeah, that's smart. That's a smart
Yeah.
route that these shoe companies or clothing companies are taking because
Mm-hmm.
they're tapping into not only the popularity but also like the audience of those artists. I mean, Drake's, he's been with Nike for a while,
Yeah.
and what was that music video that they filmed at the Nike
Oh, yeah, laughing
HQ?
or
Laugh Now, Cry
oh,
Later.
yeah, laugh now, cry. That should have
That
been. That
was
was probably the
one
precursor.
big Nike commercial.
That really was, because he probably already knew. I'm for sure he knew he had the deal. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna plug you guys into it. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, just to sweeten the deal.
This is
Man,
sweet the
that's
deal.
crazy.
Isn't that nuts, man?
Jeez,
But
smart moves. Smart moves.
power of collaborations, and we've seen Beats by Dre, how they took over the Bose's entire, market space when they started collaborating with Wayne, Dre, all these different artists and integrating it within the music videos, or Diddy with Ciroc, and how he basically pipelined that into the culture, and if you have a product that you want to go into that pop culture, you got to have those collaborations. It's just,
Yep.
it's huge.
And Bose tried to do that with like different athletes after a while, but it just didn't stick because Beats was able to do it quicker right off the bat, first mover advantage.
Yep.
Get in there
Yep.
with the culture and solidify their position. I mean, you can see that Bose is trying to do that, but they're just not. They just don't have that same. What's the word? I guess stickiness.
Yeah, it doesn't
Beats
feel.
now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel authentic, and I think the fact that Bose has been around for so long, and when you think of Bose, you just think of a different demographic, and Crocs hasn't been around as long, and I believe they were able to pivot like that, and it's a new type of shoe. It's different. They haven't been around for 40, 50 plus years like these Bose companies, and they were able to pivot in the customer's mind. It's cool now, which is interesting.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to number 2, and this is in your sphere of marketing. So, brick and mortar businesses have been hit hard. Now, during the pandemic, and so marketing wise, what would be one tip? Let's say, for example, a restaurant. You have a couple of tips for restaurants that can help them with marketing during this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for restaurants, they've been hit the hardest, and if you're in a situation where you're not able to open your restaurant or have people inside, you need to take advantage of a lot of different things, especially the internet right now. So I think my first tip is you have to be on these food platforms, like the Postmates, the DoorDashes, the Uber Eats. If you haven't been able to transition your business onto those platforms, that's numero uno, because it just gives you access to so many different types of customers that you wouldn't be able to hit. Obviously, you're not able to bring people into your location. The second thing is, I go back to my bread and butter is, I always talk about creating a free offer. And what I would do is I would start utilizing Facebook ads and, promoting, hey, get 10% off your first order, or 15% off your first order coupon when you decide to call in an order. And you basically start doing an ad in your local area, whether that's in Anaheim or Miami or wherever you're from, Nebraska. And you do an ad letting people know that, hey, I'm going to give you guys 15, 20% off your first order. Once you call in, just say Joe Schmo or whatever the case may be. And that's an easy and simple way for you to start drumming up business for your local restaurant. Got
it. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Can you still see me? I think we might have been interrupted.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're good.
We're good. Okay, yeah, that's important. Get on those different apps. Yep. Get that exposure. Facebook marketing campaigns, target locally. That's very important. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. And we had this conversation before this show, and it was on clubs.
Yeah.
Clubs. Those, I was passing by one club that we went to last year.
Yeah.
And obviously it's empty. Obviously they couldn't be doing business. And one idea that I had that I shared with you was, why couldn't they just have, let's say, like a virtual concert? Like you see all these artists and DJs having virtual concerts, live virtual concerts on YouTube, some on Twitch. They could have, like maybe some of these bars and clubs could have a showcase for a DJ or an artist
Right.
virtually live, have it
Yeah.
on there and have people offer donations.
Yes.
I'm sure people don't want their favorite clubs and bars to go out of business,
No.
and they'll be more than happy to give some donations and have some entertainment during this time.
Yes.
Like quarantine radio, like
Oh man,
with
quarantine radio. I mean,
what's
what
the
a
name?
movement.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah,
That was
quarantine radio.
huge. Huge.
Quarantine.
Huge.
Quarantine radio. Yeah, that was crazy.
Kind of got a little crazy, but it was
It got really crazy for sure.
he got blocked for a minute.
Yeah, he got blocked with a
but
minute.
things like that, like
Yeah,
that was just the power of virtual live streaming. Now it's just like a pivot. He was able to still stay relevant during that time and bring other artists like Drake, Chris Brown, whoever else on the live stream, and they were still able to stay relevant during the time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's just a little pivot,
Yeah, 100%. So, and I think that if you're a local club owner or a bar owner, I think the way that you can do this on a localized scale is, you want to find a local artist, a local DJ or just somebody who's local in the community who has a decent following. These local DJs right now, they're not getting any type of work, and they live and breathe off of exposure. And some of them probably have decent audiences on Instagram. So if you're able to reach out to them and say, hey, I would love to do for you to do a DJ set for 30 minutes to an hour. We're going to stream it live on YouTube or on Twitch. And there's capabilities where people can donate during that whole entire during that whole entire show. And you can split the proceeds with the DJ and split it with obviously your own restaurant. That could be an easy and consistent way for you to start continuously generating revenue, because naturally as humans, like, we don't want to let go of something. We don't want our favorite bars or clubs to go out of business. So collaborating with a localized DJ who's not getting exposure right now one bit, who has a decent audience, would love the opportunity to collaborate with a local business where he can grow his audience, make a little bit of money, and you guys make some money as well.
Yep. And it's a good way to market yourself. If you don't have a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. And then I'm sure you have like a list of people, their emails. If you don't, you should, but I'm sure most of these bars do. And you can just blast this whenever you go live. You can blast it to all of them. And that way people are still staying in the loop. They're still keeping you in their minds. So when the time comes, when the lockdowns are done, where's the first place they're going to go to celebrate? Your bar.
Yeah, of course.
Your club.
100%. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, little things like that. It's a good way to pivot. Okay. Absolutely. Number 3. TikTok.
TikTok. I'm so curious, Mike. I mean,
So
on the last episode, you kind of did a little bit.
I kind of hinted it on the last episode. Now I'm going to be sharing with everyone this. I haven't really done this. I just went live on my TikTok last week to share a couple tips. Okay, long story short, beginning of 2020, January 2020, I started TikTok. And I was a little hesitant because it felt like a kid's app. What are these? Everyone's just dancing, lip syncing songs. What's going on? Yeah. But I decided to do it because I thought about, all right, Vine, I started it, didn't take it too seriously. Instagram, I started it, I did it, and it worked well, but I didn't start in the very beginning and wasn't super consistent. TikTok, I was just been looking at its growth, and I've just been looking at the type of content, not just the dancing part of it, that's just a whole nother part, but like the education space on TikTok, the teaching, and how fast the organic growth is. So I figured if there's any other platform that's just still young, it's still starting, I'm just gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna start on January and do a TikTok at least every day or every other day till the end of the year. And that's what I did.
Okay.
I did stop for 3 months because I have to admit, I got kind of discouraged and I kind of had to focus more on my business.
Yep. Yep.
But then I started talking to some of my friends who were on TikTok, and they were older, and they said, hey, there's still like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds giving out like good content when it comes to business, when it comes to things like cooking, different, types of education. I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to start this back up again. So that's what I did. So basically, let me share my screen here.
So basically, Mike, so you basically did about 9 months straight of TikTok videos, and your results were about to be exposed right now. Okay, cool.
Yes, my results and tips on what I learned.
Okay, beautiful. Let's do it.
Okay, so you see here, we're going to presentation mode.
Beautiful.
Okay, so these are my first 5 videos. Okay, so I started my first account, and I made mistakes on that first account. And I started this is what you're seeing here is my second account after I learned from my mistakes, because I wanted to start fresh.
Yep.
What I found out is that the first 5 videos should be recorded using the TikTok app. And it should be showing your face. The mistakes that I did on my first account was I just took videos that I pre-recorded already I pulled from Instagram, and I just uploaded on there.
Got it.
And it just didn't get the natural traction that it did.
Okay.
So then I just started, what I did was, first 5 videos, I did that same strategy, and then I just talked about relevant topics. So to me, it's videography, making videos, video production, things like that. So you can see, I just have my camera there, just simple, simple topics, education. All right, so that's what I did. Okay, so now this here, okay, so amount of followers, I didn't hit 10K. My goal was to hit 10K in the year.
Okay.
I didn't hit 10K until December.
Got it.
But before that, if you, like, for example, if you look at, like a stock chart, right? Like the S&P 500 or whatever, you can see in the short term, it just does like this. It's like very volatile, right? But when you open it up in the long term, it's just one straight line up.
Yeah.
So I made sure to keep that in mind throughout the whole time, because I would get some videos where it's like minimal views. Yeah. And then boom, one would spike up and get a lot of views. And then after that, the next couple of days we'll get minimal views. And so it's easy to get discouraged, but I just kept in mind, like, all right, it's like the stock chart, just bigger picture.
Fluctuates.
So then, and then I found out that using 4 hashtags works best instead of just spamming it with like 30 hashtags.
Okay.
And then I just focused on having one trending hashtag, and then the other 3 are more relevant to what I do. So like whatever video, whatever I'm talking about, whether it's video, money, gaming, stuff like that.
So a trending hashtag, so that might be like, maybe there's a new Drake video out or something else is going on.
Yeah, okay. So exactly.
Like that?
And that's what I did. Remember when Drake came out with a 2C slide?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. So as I was making my videos, I just kept experimenting with things, right? Okay. But I always made it a point to keep it within the video sphere. Yeah. And talk about relevant topics. I was like, okay, I should start talking about relevant things, whatever's trending, because that would help. Yeah. So when Drake came out with that music video, I kept watching it, and then I saw in, like, the part where he's dancing in front of like the cause sculptures. I looked real closely, and the eye of the cause moved from like an X to like a O or yeah. Wow. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I kept watching more. And when he's in the room where he's in front of the picture of his album, where he's like a little kid.
Yep.
the clouds were moving.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw the other one is probably obvious, is like the halo coming up from the Kobe
Yeah.
jersey.
Hmm.
I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm going to talk about that. And so the next
Mm.
video I did was um, 3 things you didn't see in the 2C slide video, or 3 hidden things you didn't see in 2C slide video.
Got
And
it.
so that's what I did. And I just
Got it.
saw, I just pointed out, boom, the eyes on the cause sculpture,
Got
boom, the
it.
moving clouds, and then
Yes.
boom, the halo coming up from the Kobe jersey. And then
That
I
is
asked the people, or asked the viewers at the end, a question. Did you see any of these?
right.
Right? And so that's what I did. And
Engagement.
then it got traction.
No.
It got
Wow.
traction. It got traction.
Okay.
And
Nice.
then there is other videos that I started to see that got traction later on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got a minimal amount of views on one video, and I checked my account later and I was like, where are all these comments coming from? And I
Right.
just scrolled down, scroll down, scroll down. That one video got traction.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So,
So I
yeah.
think TikTok sees the consistency that
Mhm.
you keep posting, you keep using it, and just like any other social platform, they want to see that you keep using it, and it just helps boosts
Right.
your profile.
Got it. Okay. Got it. So basically so when we're posting now, from what you're saying, we're going to use 4 hashtags, one of those hashtags to be trending, then one of those, the 3 other ones to be specific. But if we can make a video, if we can take something that's trending and put our business spin on it, you would see success with those videos when you do post on TikTok.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Got
that's
it.
what I found out works best. And this was just through
Beautiful.
experimenting.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah. And okay, so backtracking just a little bit, up to from January to I believe like April or May, maybe June, that's when I kind of stopped, and I was at 6K
Okay.
followers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that 3-month hiatus, coming back in maybe, I think maybe July, that's when I started going like back on track every day, every other day.
Mm-hmm.
And during that short period of time, it just went up like this, like super fast.
Like a rocket. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And within 1 month in December, I went from like that 6K to close to 20K.
With 1 million, I mean, you have 1 million plus likes on all of your content. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay.
But it was just the consistency aspect. And then from there, this is where I kind of started to fine tune my posts on like what my audience is more engaged with.
Yes.
And I still set the focus on video and gaming, like video games, because video and games.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking about relevant things. So I set up this process. If you just look at my profile, I set the same structure for every single one of my videos. So for example, in the beginning, you can see here, I have a red bar up top with a title. Keep it consistent. I either talk about like the top 3 richest gamers in the world, or the richest gamer in the world, or things like that. Once I started, it's interesting. Once I started adding the money aspect into it, it got more engagement.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
And so it's also because I look up these things too. It's just I haven't put it on TikTok until now.
Right.
I would search on Google, who's the highest paid, director in the world.
Right.
That's what I did.
Okay.
So then I did that, and at the end, I would always ask a question. I would say, let's say, for example, this person made this much, and I would say, who is the number 1 so-and-so in the world? and that got comments.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Because
wow.
before, in other posts that got a lot of views, I didn't ask any questions. I didn't engage with my audience. And so it would get maybe like, you know, a bunch of views, but just a couple comments. That's a weird ratio.
Okay,
It wasn't until I started asking questions that started engaging with them. And then I would engage with them in the comments after they commented.
got it. Okay, so structure-wise, when you're looking to do a TikTok video, you basically want to make sure you're facing the camera, is facing at your face. At top needs to be a sexy title, top best video games, but it's something interesting and trendy, more or less. You want to talk about it. Then towards the end, you want to ask a question to pull in the engagement aspect, which will push it out to more people structurally.
Yeah, and this is what I saw from, you know, if you think about TikTok, you can say like, oh, you know, do I have to dance? Do I have to do all this stuff? You know, do I have to act? You don't. If you run a business, talk about what's relevant in your space. You know, what's trending, what's relevant. Be a newscaster.
Yes.
You know, relay that message to people. And that usually what works best. If you are someone that doesn't want to get on the dancing and whatever else, you know, relay those things, like especially from your own personal experiences. Let's say, for example, you are in finance, then you can say the top 3 ways to, you know, save your money. Best ways to save your money.
Right.
Like that.
Okay. Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. I think even like, you know, let's say, for example, like you're a real estate agent, you know, let's say Rihanna just bought a house. Guess how much Rihanna's house cost or something like that, or the top 3 most expensive homes in America.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's stuff like that where it's relevant. People are curious, and it casts such a massive net that you can grow your following on there. Then the certain people that are in your localized area will trickle in, and you'll end up getting deals done, you know, but that's how you exponentially grow, more or less than anything is what I'm understanding.
And TikTok is a great way just to get people to notice you right off the bat. Beautiful. Then you can add in your links to your bio, and that's where people get to know you even more. It's just a, I wouldn't say easy way, but it's just a better way to get noticed without so many hoops that you have to jump through.
Right. Absolutely. No, I love it.
And then I also found out here, okay, use trending songs. That helps out a lot because TikTok wants to boost those trending songs.
Okay.
And don't delete your posts. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I posted one video and I forgot to put a song on the video. Right. And I was tempted to delete it and repost with a song, but I was like, all right, I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to let it go. And then it got a good amount of views.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Because I saw that if you delete your videos, and I just literally searched all this up on YouTube from, you know, people giving their advice, and I just went with it. And so when you delete your posts, TikTok sees that and it doesn't like that.
Okay, got it.
So even if you make a mistake, as long as it's not crazy, just let it be.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow. This is really good information.
And then now this is current. Okay. So to this day, here at 43K.
With 2.1 million likes, guys. 2.1 million. Massive.
Yeah, and I was surprised about this, but I was surprised but not surprised. Okay. Because just the consistency aspect is just solidified. And I was like, okay, this is a great experiment. I'm glad it went this way.
Right.
And I just went all in on it. I mean, I kind of stopped posting as frequently on Instagram because I was like, all right, if I'm going to go all in on this, I got to go all in.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the name of our show, 2 feet in. So I had to go 2 feet in on TikTok.
That's what we do, baby. Yep.
I mean, yeah. So then pretty much it just came down to experimenting, interacting with the audience. Um, and you can see here on the titles of what I'm doing is like, I just talk about the top 3 most expensive gaming PCs, the top 3 richest esports teams,
Wow.
top 3, you know, Tesla video games that you can
Mm-hmm.
play in a Tesla, just simple
Yep.
things like that. And then I
Mhm.
have my YouTube channel link there.
Nice.
So I don't know how many people have uh, gone to my YouTube channel yet, but
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's just an experiment that I
Okay.
wanted to do, but I'm going to keep doing it and see if we can hit 100K this year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're
So,
well on your way, dude. It looks amazing. You
so
know.
yeah, but I mean, for business owners, 100%. I think TikTok is still young.
Okay.
It was one of the fastest growing apps in 2020,
Okay.
2019 and 2020, and it's still young. Like
Right.
if you
Right.
get on it, just get on it. You know
Yeah.
it because like I said before in the last show, it has like that early Vine, Instagram vibes to
Yeah.
where people are saying, "Oh, it's a bunch of young kids. They're on it." Same thing like they were saying with Vine and Instagram until they matured.
Right. Exactly. 100%. You know, and especially in 2021, and and even in 2020, attention is currency. And if you do have a massive audience on any type of platform, whether that's YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Shopify, television, it doesn't matter. If you have influence, you can turn that into dollars, So with Mike, I think that's amazing, that experiment. I even learned a lot just listening to you and just, making sure that it has a trending aspect to it. You're front facing the camera, don't delete anything, and always ask a question at the end to probe the engagement. I just think that's an amazing point.
Yeah, and I didn't want to share this until I did it for like a close
Right.
to a full year until a year is
Yeah.
done. And so,
Well,
yeah, first time sharing this. So,
yeah, it's huge, exactly. Everybody listening, I mean, this is a year's worth of information that just got, consolidated into 20 minutes. So take it, learn it, implement it. You can get the same results quickly, so that's amazing, man.
yep. So, road to 100K now. But
Road to 100K, baby. Let's go.
yep. All right. Moving on from TikTok, we are going to the importance of sleep. And
Oh,
I know you
yeah.
want to talk about the Aura Ring too.
Yes, absolutely. So one thing that I've been really looking at is really looking at how can I perform at the highest level. And one thing I was struggling with, during the weeks were just having enough energy to get through the day. You have a lot of these people talking about how they're working 10-hour days, 12-hour days, different things like that. And I've just been, figuring out different things. Is it the, what I'm eating? Is it, am I getting enough exercise? And I really came about learning about how important sleep is and how you really want to make sure that you get 8 hours worth of sleep. But for me, I've always been a data person. And that's something that's been massive to me. Like if you give me a goal or a number to hit, I will absolutely hit it. And I came across this product called the Aura Ring, where you put this ring on and it tracks all of your deep sleep metrics like REM, your rest, your heart rate while you're sleeping, and it computes it into a sleeping score. And if you get yourself above like an 80 or a 90 on your sleeping score app, that means you had a good night worth of sleep. And I'm telling you, man, like I started wearing the Aura Ring and tracking the way I was sleeping normally. I was getting around 50, 60, just horrible sleep, tossing and turning. And when I decided to start going to sleep earlier, not have any glass of wine prior to bed so my temperature could be down, all of that type of stuff, and I started getting 90s and 80s, my performance throughout the whole entire week was incredible. I exploded, because I was well rested and I was able to perform at a higher level. So sleep's so important.
Yeah, that's very, very important. Interesting. Because I used Sleep Cycle.
Okay.
I used that app before. But so basically it's a ring. Like you said, it's a
Yeah.
ring you put on your finger and it connects to the
Yep.
app.
Yeah, so basically it's a ring and it has sensors in it. And you just wear it you can wear it if you're going to bed, or you can wear it throughout the day, but it'll track your deep sleep. So it'll tell you how long when you're actually in deep sleep. It'll track your heart rate, it tracks your calories, and it computes everything by this equation to create a sleep score. And if you're able to get at 80% or higher, that means you had good sleep. And if you get at 80% or lower, you have bad sleep. And it tracks your temperature as well. So then it gives you information on how to have a better night's sleep. And that's the most important part, because you begin to start optimizing your sleep patterns so you can perform better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I 100% agree. Let me exit out of this and go to what I found in sleep. Okay, so right now we're on the sleepfoundation.org website.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so here it says, okay, so not all sleep cycles are the same length, but on average they last about 90 minutes each.
Right.
Sleep cycle here,
Mm-hmm.
you can see this chart is kind of like a sleep cycle. So for those that are listening, the peak here is when you're awake, then it drops down to deep sleep, and then the peak, which is in roughly 90 minutes, or the next peak is in roughly 90 minutes, and then another dip to deep sleep, and then so on until you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's different for each person. When I used to set my alarms, I used to set it to where, like, it's, let's say I wanted to get 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
I set my alarm from, let's say, for example, 12 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that I would wake up fuzzy. And I figured that was probably because I was waking up when I was still in deep sleep. So
Yes, absolutely.
what I did was I did a little tweak to where, let's say it was the same amount of time that I want to wake up from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to bed at 11:30.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And when I woke up at 8 a.m., I was at the top of my sleep cycle. I was pretty much awake.
Oh, so you tracked in the app where you knew the patterns of your sleep, and you knew if you could time it right, you wouldn't wake up groggy.
Yeah. And I also, because I read this in a book, I totally
Uh-huh.
forgot what book it was, but it said that it's like the first 30 minutes, like it's best to sleep 30 minutes before your set time of sleep.
Got it. Yep.
And that's what I did. I don't know if it works for everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
but I always set, like, let's say, for example, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I go to bed at 10:30,
Mm-hmm.
get that 8 hours of sleep. So I
Right.
wake up at the top of my cycle.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
from then on, even if I sleep like 5 hours, I still set it to where, I wake up at the top of my cycle. So, like, let's say I sleep at 12 a.m., I set it to 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
and I still wake up refreshed.
Wow.
So yeah, it's interesting, but definitely get your 8 hours of sleep. And like you said, it 100%, it helps with your week, your day, especially.
Yeah. 100%. And one thing I learned too was, me and my brother, we love cooking red meat, steaks, different things like that. And I would eat, steaks prior to going to bed. And your body, it takes a big amount of energy to break down red meat. And I noticed when I had red meat the night prior to going to bed, it would take me a long time to go to bed and I wouldn't wake up as refreshed. And I started to do research on that. And I said, oh crap, the reason that you don't want to eat red meat is because it takes so much energy to break it down. So now prior to going to bed, I won't have any type of red meat or anything like that, because it's tough for your body to wake up and different things like that because it takes so much energy to break that down. So really monitoring what you're eating prior to bed and testing to see what will allow you to get that best amount of sleep, so you do wake up the best and you can perform for a long amount of time during the week.
Yeah, and exercise works
Yep.
way better for better sleep.
Yes.
And then drinking water.
Yes.
Drinking the
Absolutely.
water.
Yep.
I think they said have at least 3 to 4 liters a day.
Yes.
Water.
It's huge, and these are, I mean, it's like oil, right? If you can burn clean oil in your car will last longer. Your body's the same way. If you can, burn, really good, really good, food, put them in your body, you nurture yourself right, you're doing exercise and all the necessary things, the output is going to be, your level of performance is going to grow 10 times further. But if you're putting in junk food, you're eating pizza every day and different things like that, you're going to feel crappy, you're going to perform crappy, so it's just the way the game works.
Yeah, and then also too, I think there's that big misconception, with entrepreneurs or, business owners, like, I'm going to grind it out all night. I'm just going to, I'm going to do an all-nighter, get all this work done. But the next day, you're not productive.
Yeah, exactly. So
9 times out of 10.
Let's put this misconception to rest for all these rappers, for all these entrepreneurs who are telling you, yo, you need to work for 50 hours every single day and only sleep 1 hour. And if you're not doing that, you're a bum. That is completely false, and is one of the biggest lies that have been peddled in entrepreneurship and success. And any person who has any inkling of how this game works, know that is absolutely horse crap. It just is.
It is, because they can say, oh, while you're sleeping, they're working.
Okay.
But you're not working efficiently. And
yeah,
it's what you do during your set work time that matters, not how long you're working.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I mean, we know people who work 2-3 hours today who are doing 7-8 figure businesses, but in those 2 or 3 hours, they're 10 times more productive than you
laser
are
focused
with 8 hours or 15 hours. So people have this misconception, oh, if you put in 10 hours or this hours, you're working the hardest. What type of work are you doing? Because, if you're extremely efficient, I've seen people within 3 hours get more done than a person who's working 9 to 10 hours every single day.
And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And you got to look at like the billionaires. You don't see these billionaires, sleeping for just 1 hour. They get their night's sleep, but they're focused on when the work needs to be done.
Yeah, exactly. And if there is a night where we have a deadline or we got to meet a requirement at a certain time, of course, an entrepreneur is going to do what it takes to make sure he gets his obligations done. But for this to be a cultural thing where, we're sleeping 1 hour a day because we're grinding so hard and we're tough, and it's bullshit. It's just not true at all.
Yeah. And that needs to be put to bed, because
that does.
It's unless it's some outlier situation, okay, that's fine. I mean, there's times where I had to do all-nighters to get work done.
100%.
But it's also time management on my end, because I made the mistake of not managing my time a little bit better earlier on. So I had to pay for it during that time. So that needs to kind of change.
We're putting that to rest.
Yeah, put that to rest. Literally and figuratively. Okay. Number 5, topic on deck is credit cards.
Yes, credit.
Credit cards.
It's a massive,
probably the least talked about topic for people and in entrepreneurship and business owners. Building your credit is very, very important. And the reason why is because later on in life, when you need to borrow money, like let's say for a car, for a house, for a loan, you need a good credit score.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm going to go here. Okay, so here are, let me go here and credit score.
Okay.
Let's talk about credit score. What is a good credit score? I'm looking at a credit score chart here at credit.org website.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And a good credit score is 680 to 739.
Got it.
The reason why it's good to have a higher credit score is because you have more opportunity, more options to get a lower rate of interest that you have to pay.
Yeah.
So that helps out a lot. And how do you get that good credit score? Well, you get good credit score by paying back your credit cards on time and not having any late payments. So this is the strategy that I use.
Okay.
So with credit cards, especially if you're a business owner, right, you're going to have a lot of expenses.
Yep.
So I treat my credit cards like a debit card.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why is because with credit cards, if you get a good credit card, you get cash back and you can build your credit score at the same time.
Yep.
So I have it set to auto pay. So I would, let's say for anything like drinks, for coffee, if I'm getting that, or for especially gear, I would use my credit card, get cash back on the perks and have it set to auto pay. So I don't have to worry about going in and paying it manually, and it just runs itself.
Okay.
And I think that's what a lot of people kind of tend to forget. If they just pay with their debit card, you want to be using other people's money.
Absolutely. OPM, 100%, man.
Meaning
100%.
the banks.
100%, and no, to your point, I think that's a great system. I think as business owners, if you can get a business credit card, use that frequently and have it auto debit to pay back. That's a beautiful system because it's going to grow your credit. You're not having to put up the cash immediately and you're able to pay that back. And with a better credit score, you can borrow more money if you're trying to acquire real estate or acquire property or, get a business loan to grow your business. It's an absolute huge asset to have if you're not cash liquid.
Yep, exactly. And don't really necessarily focus on the I guess the interest rates with a credit card, because I mean it's good to look at them like the variable interest rates, but you shouldn't be. I don't use my credit card and pay it back in low installments. I have it paid back in one lump sum.
Yeah.
So, but here are some examples here of some good credit cards. If you're with Chase, Freedom Unlimited credit card. Let's see here. Some of its info says 1.5 to 5% cash back. You earn $200 bonus when you spend $500 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening, and no annual fee. That's important. No annual fee, which means you don't pay any fee annually. And then you earn unlimited 1.5 cash back on all other purchases. So that's a plus.
Okay.
It has a variable APR of 14.99 to 23.74, just for people to know. But yeah, so here is Citi Double Cash. This is also a good one for good cash back. Earn 2% on every purchase with unlimited 1% cash back when you buy, plus an additional 1% as you pay for those purchases. And APR, 0% intro APR on balance transfers for 18 months. After that, the variable APR will be 13.99 to 23.99% on your credit worthiness. And that's just pretty much the basics, and $0 annual fee. So that's a plus. There's also the Chase Freedom Flex card, which is also another card. You can look into that too. Earn 5% on up to $1,500 on combined purchases on bonus categories each quarter you activate. And it has also other perks on cash back for travel, for dining at restaurants, drugstore purchases, on all other purchases. But big picture, yeah, it's building your credit score is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like I said, if you're trying to grow a business, you know, and if you don't have access to capital, you know, having a really good credit score will allow you to get a credit line or to, you know, have a big credit balance where you can start, you know, to buy inventory for your store or to get food for your restaurant or to pay employees, different things like that. So you really need to set up a system and have a process in place where you can start to build credit for yourself. And, you know, OPM, you know, definitely leverage it. You know, it doesn't have to be your
Yeah.
own money.
I think that's one of the things that is not talked about a lot, or really kind of understood well for like most people. I think when they think of credit cards, they always think of debt. Like,
Right.
like debt is bad,
Right.
but it's not if you use it correctly.
Yep.
You have that window of time where you're using money that other people's money, technically like the banks,
Yep.
window of time to where you don't have to pay for it. And in that period of time, you can start selling from what you use to buy. And then when you made that money, then it's easy to pay off.
Just pay it back.
But you should have some extra money in your bank account before you start using your credit card, so you have that extra money to pay it off when you use your credit card.
Right.
If you don't, then that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. You know, so yeah, people think debt's bad, but it's really not, especially when it comes from a business term. You know, you have good debt and you have bad debt, of course, right? You know, but leverage debt, you know, that's how you can grow extremely fast and extremely quickly. Use other people's money. If you can conserve your cash, because cash is king, and use other people's capital, do it. There's no shame in that game. That's how you start to play the bigger monopoly game. And, you know, that's the way the game goes. You know, it just is what it is.
Yep. And that's how like the wealthy build their wealth.
100%.
Like, look at billionaires and how they build their wealth. They use other people's money that they can leverage to quickly build their assets.
Yep. 100%.
You know, homes, properties, you know, other assets such as businesses. All of that is using other people's money with leverage.
Yes, exactly.
So it's always important to look at those and look what those types of people do, because it's proven. It's a proven method.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. It really is,
yeah.
you know, so no, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think guys definitely leverage debt. Don't be scared about it, you know, because the normal person, oh, debt's bad. It's a myth, the same way like you have, you know, sleep only 1 hour and work forever. That's a myth, you know. So leverage debt, you know, if you can use OPM, other people's money, that's a great option for you.
Yep, 100%.
You know?
Do you have anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
I just think that, you know, the TikTok thing is incredible. I think that that's a massive win for the show. I think that, you know, the strategy behind that around, you know, if like I just keep coming back to like a real estate agent. I wish I was a real estate agent right now, because I would absolutely mess up TikTok.
Dude, I see real estate agents on there, and they are like the ones that are consistent.
Yeah.
And they talk about the bigger topics, like a celebrity's house. How much is it selling for? Things like that. It's relevant. It's relevant.
It's relevant, you know, and I think that if you're a business owner, because I know there's going to be people on this show who are listening, oh, well, that can't work for me because I own a fishing store, or that won't work for me because I own a baby store. Okay. There's always trending topics around your business niche. What's one of the biggest alligators that was ever caught in American history? Do a video on that if you sell fishing gear, okay?
Yep.
Or, you know, how many kids does Angelina Jolie have? Okay, and you're obviously going to get mothers who are interested in that post. Then you have your baby store link within the TikTok link.
Yep.
There's trending topics for every single subject. So I do not want you guys to have that objection in your mind. Well, it's not relevant to me. Absolutely false. Absolutely false.
Right. And it's all about the first mover advantage type thing. When it comes to that. Like if you want to solidify your position in a growing app, I mean, there's going to be more growing apps after TikTok, but why wait? So if you want to have that extra edge, I would advise you to go into it. It's still early, 100% early.
Yeah.
And we should make one.
We should
probably make one.
And we just show people how it's done, you know, because we get it cracking.
Also too, Clubhouse. We should create a room with Clubhouse. Like we said, if you want to hang out one-on-one with us,
100%.
have what did you say? Have someone comment?
Yeah, so you know, guys, so Clubhouse is a private app where we have a ton of influencers who are on these apps where you're having one-on-one conversations and different things like that, and you have to be sent out an invite link. So again, guys, for the people who post the best comment within the YouTube comments, let us know your thoughts on the show. Give us some great feedback. We're gonna pick the best one. And the one that we pick, we will absolutely invite you to TikTok. We'll let you know on the YouTube chat, and you'll be a part of our club on Clubhouse, so we could chat one-on-one.
Dope. All right, so make sure to do that. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like this video, press that like button, and subscribe to stay updated on the next posts. And make sure to comment too. We want to engage with you. We want to answer your questions. We're here for all of you. So with that being said, thanks for watching this episode. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kenny. Peace.
Peace.